I would like to welcome back Tania and Shane Cardwell. And if you don't mind, I'd like to start with something that you both said when we did this a year ago, because it really has stuck with me. There were a number of things that were talked about that day last June that have stuck with me, but this one, and that is specifically the term stunt driving as it equates to the law. That stunt driving is as you couldn't be any further from what real stunt driving is. They are not only two different things, but they are in effect absolute opposites of each other, correct?
Yes, definitely. In the film industry, everything is controlled. Everything we do, we planned out, we rehearsed it, and we work in areas where people from outside can't get in. So every car you see around the action, those are all stunt people. They're all there for a purpose, and it's all controlled by the set. Whereas on the street, the guy beside you, you may not get in an accident, but how many accidents do you cause while you're driving? You know, there's always that guy who says, I've never had an accident in my life, but because I drive like an idiot, I've created 20 other accidents. And people have to learn you can't drive on the streets like that. And they have to understand having a driver's license, it's a privilege. It's not a rite of passage, it's a privilege. You get that license, you work for it, you should honor it, and you should respect it. And if you don't, the license should be taken away from you and never given back. You should learn how to get a bus route.
Would it be fair to say that those who stunt drive professionally would probably be amongst the safest drivers on our roads?
Actually, I'm going to say something here. He's been doing this for 43 years, including all the Fast and Furious movies and everything. He got his first speeding ticket about 10 years ago, and he was like 10 over. And that's the only one he's ever had. He drives worse, like my grandmother, sorry to say, but it's a true story. And a lot of them are like that. They get a chance to do that on set.
I get paid to do it, so I don't find it necessary to do it on live streets. If I'm doing 15 miles an hour on set, I know everybody around me knows what's going on. When you do that on the open highways, the people around you don't know what you're doing or when you're going to do it. And that's what causes the problems.
If you look at the recent Fast and Furious 9 movie that came out, some of those stunt sequences, the driving sequence, take sometimes between 3 and 4 months to plan, between finding a location that is safe, setting up the cars. You don't normally do these in cars that you get off a showroom floor. That's not how that works. There are modifications, et cetera, et cetera.
Modified for the driver.
Yeah, then there's the equipment, then there's all the safety that goes into it. I mean, there's so much that goes on in the background. And to think that, some of these drivers, think that they can emulate that on the streets is absolutely asinine. Drivers are not, invincible. And as Shane says, it's a privilege. And in fact, if you were to ask any of the members of the stunt community what they think about what these drivers are doing on the streets, they would very, very openly say, we don't want people like that on our sets.
And in several countries, Australia, the UK, in order to get into the stunt registry, and that means recognized by everybody in the industry that you are a stunt performer, you have to take, in a 2-year period, 7 different courses in horseback riding, motorcycles, cars, high falls. Everything is one step after another. You do not get into the registry to call yourself a stunt performer until you have all 7 out of 10. There are 10 that you have to do.
And just to give you an example, there's about 1,200 professional stunt performers across Canada. Less than 100 of those would actually make their living as stunt drivers, being their primary occupation. So that just goes to show you, even stunt drivers, you've got to be at the top of your field before you'll actually get to do that on a movie set. So thinking you can do it on the streets is just a really bad idea. And
Well,
thanks for having us back.